Morning Nigeria, it's a brand new day and you're tuned into Ways Breakfast hashtag what are you saying? Your daily dose of real conversations that matter. My name is Oluchi Omenka and as always I've been joined by my amazing co-anchor Ololade Akimboye. Now let's kick things off with our quotes of the day. The greatest threat to our future is the belief that someone else will protect it, and that's a quote from Robert Swan. And that ties into our conversation this morning. We're looking at a rising concern that many parents may not even be aware of: sweeteners and early puberty in children. Recent research suggests that some of those sugar-free snacks and drinks we give our kids, thinking we're doing the right thing, could be silently speeding up their development. And it's not just a health issue, it's a social, emotional, and parenting conversation. And we're opening it up today, so grab your tea, get comfortable, and let's get into it. Good morning.
Good morning.
Grab my tea, I'm grabbing mine. I mean, it's a wonderful Tuesday morning, but the funny thing is that the weather started, I don't know, there was this atmosphere coming to work this morning. Everyone was so gloomy, so dark, and it just made me realize that the way everything comes actually determines how your day starts. So I was just looking into, you know, when you're giving main character,
I think it's just rain, because it was even raining when I was coming. It was drizzling.
But it was so dark. Everywhere was so dark. I wasn't even feeling it at all. I was wishing that a little ray of sunlight could just come out, because it was affecting my mood. I would just be staring into nothingness, thinking about things I have to do. I'm like, what kind of weather are we in? And it's even gotten more worse because this is also telling on the flood issues that we have. I know you're going to open that up.
We're going to open that
much more for us. There's a whole lot we really need to consider, and let's see.
Just prepare.
Exactly. All right, to our viewers, thank you for joining us this beautiful Tuesday morning. We have a whole lot to unpack, from the headline stories to our hot topic for today, discussing early puberty in kids and the reasons for it. So you do not want to miss any part of today's segment. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we're heading straight to the headline stories. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back, our valued viewers. What are your thoughts on these historical milestones? I'd love to hear your insight and perspectives. And remember, you are the main ingredient in all of our conversations. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Our phone lines are open. Please call us on 0702-500-7749 or 0701-424-2420. And if you're yet to subscribe to our YouTube channel, it is at Official Upgrade TV. Click the subscribe button, like, share the link, tune into channel 145 on your Go TV, and do not miss this. In fact, this is a cue for you. Do not watch today's show alone. Watch it with your colleague at work, your family, or whoever is around you. Let's take a look at what's trending in today's paper. We have The Guardian and The Punch newspaper, and we're starting with The Punch.
All right, so let us have The Punch newspaper this morning. And the first one here is the presidential jet gulp 26.38 billion naira in a 18-month. CBT fear surge after decade worst WAEC results. And then we have another one here that says federal government inaugurates a national MSMEs grant clinics in Akure. And then there is another one here that says first old call to dispose shares after Otudeko's exit. Quite one that is not very good is the news on a 60-year-old Nigerian found dead with stab wounds in UK flat. Now, to the headline that we are going to be talking about, something that is affecting everyone in Nigeria, particularly in Lagos right now, is as regards the nationwide alert. Federal government warns of 5-day flooding in 19 states. According to them, rainfall flooding forecast for Tuesday to Saturday, and the flood is going to hit Ogun, Gombe, and, you know, some other part. So, and I'm going to be opening up the story as regards the flooding, because personally, the rain that fell, you know, 2 days ago here in Lagos was, I don't think I've ever seen that kind of rain before, like, since...
You're just coming to Lagos.
Yes, something like that.
It's a regular thing.
So it was really bad, you know, the traffic it caused, everything like that. Meanwhile, I was just talking about the fact that, this is the first time that I'm hearing in Lagos that people are not complaining about flooding, not knowing that the flooding was still that it's still coming very heavy. So even before I talk about Lagos State, you know, it's in the news that the federal government has forecasted heavy rainfall over a 5-day period that may trigger flooding across 19 states and 76 locations. And this is a warning to everyone, to all stakeholders, to the federal ministry and residents to take urgent measures. And they also mentioned, you know, some of the states that are prone to this. They mentioned Gombe State, Lagos, Plateau, Anambra, and Delta will also be affected by this flooding. Now, what I really want to talk about is that we have cases like this, you know, every year. We are always talking about the cases of flooding every year. And here we are again this year. Now, the very unfortunate thing, I was reading the news yesterday, and I saw that Lagos is warning its residents that they should move. You know, if you're staying in certain areas like Lekki, Ikorodu, that you should move to the mainland areas where you know, people are not prone
to flood.
That those places are not prone to flood.
You can say that I'm sorry to say it doesn't make
sense.
It
doesn't make any sense, because is that the solution to the kind of problem that we are about to have?
Even though it looks like, yes, we're going to be saving lives, but is it when we have gotten to, we're almost falling off a cliff, that we remember that people shouldn't be staying in certain areas? Because when I was thinking about this story, there are certain areas in Lagos that are very prone to flood. Lagos is already this cosmopolitan state where every Tom, Dick, and Harry stays. So because of the population in Lagos, a number of people are staying in any place that they can find. Yet we find developers, we find real estate people, we find whoever building houses in places that are not meant to even be...
With millions of naira to sandfill somewhere that is still prone to anything that can happen when flooding starts. Places
that are not meant for people to stay. They shouldn't stay if it is a flood-prone area. So coming back later when you can see that now it has really got into everyone's neck to tell them to move, where are they moving to?
I mean, I saw a video yesterday of people in the corridor area. It was very, very bad. You needed to see that video. People were swimming inside water to get to their destination. And I don't know, this is not supposed to be, I'm not supposed to be calling on the federal government now, because I think these are the things that we are supposed to plan for before. But thinking about it, you know, we understand that, okay, these things have happened, but what kind of solution can they even put in place? Because I feel like we will keep on doing this every year. We will keep on, you know, shouting to certain areas. We will keep, because, for example, do you know that there are still a lot of houses that have been sold out in this particular Lagos state, in these very prone areas that we are talking about?
Yes.
You know, they mentioned Lekki. You know how much it is if you want to live right here. And that same place is the place that when flooding comes, I was seeing a video of a woman that was complaining about the fact that, you know, her house was flooded already, and it is not a terrible area. It's not a terrible apartment.
I showed you the video of one that was doing content to
maybe
show
it's
how
even the same
water
video
had entered into the house.
Meanwhile, it's not even maybe a very terrible area or something like that. But I don't really know what I should tell federal government right now, because I think
tell them that they should stop doing fire brigade approach to solving things like this.
Solving things like this, something that we are supposed to plan. You knew we were going to come to this. If I don't want to believe federal government will tell me that they did not know that we were going to come to this, because even I am not a federal government.
I think beyond federal government, state governments themselves,
governments
Lagos state government, and I wouldn't say that Lagos state government isn't doing as much. I just feel like there's something we're missing that is making us always have this issue every year. There are certain areas that people should not be living. You have seen this over time. Send them away before the flood comes. Let them look for other options. In fact, some people that are looking for houses, they will tell them, before you pick a certain house, in any locality, always, in fact, they will tell them, go when it's raining season, so that you can know the condition of that place. Their area, I don't know many of them, but at least some of them on the island here, and like Ikorodu and some places that you have mentioned. Mark those areas. People should not live there. Not after the damage has been done. You're not trying to evacuate people. Oh, you didn't know that there's going to be flood? It's not like raining season, it meets us unaware. We all know that in every year, around this period, from June into September, many times, even though there's August break, that the climate has done a lot of things.
I think the break is even over.
It's not, I mean, a lot of things is happening to our atmosphere and all, so we don't always even see that August break. You know this is going to happen. Yet we're seeing this. I even saw one news on the Guardian newspaper that mentioned that the First Lady has donated 1 billion naira to flood victims. Everything is still giving me this fire brigade approach. And it looks like that's what gets our adrenaline. Everybody just like to do something immediately. If something can be prevented, do it. Don't wait till everything has scattered, then you now want to. So I even listed out some things, but you go ahead to say what you want to say.
Now let's talk about, you mentioned about the, them not allowing people to live in certain areas. But let us think about it. Do we think Lagos is that, especially these places that we have mentioned,
yes.
Do you think that is something that is possible, that is going to happen in these areas?
It's not even possible.
It's not even possible. So that's why I'm saying that I don't understand the kind of call that I want to call the federal government, because these places are where people are literally living. We all know the state of Lagos when it comes to the population and all of that. There's just so many people and all of that, and we don't even have that kind of land, the land size to even contain the number of people that are staying there. So what is the solution to, we cannot evacuate, that large percentage, because I'm thinking about it.
As a developing nation that we always call ourselves, we can learn from other nations. Nigeria is not, and I think Nigeria is blessed. Apart from flooding, we don't even have a lot of major disasters, natural disasters, as compared to other countries. But why do we see other countries somehow combat them in a way? It's because there's a forecasting to it. It's not fire brigade.
They can plan ahead.
Exactly. So there are different ways to plan ahead. I think there was one time they were saying that in Lagos State they introduced some technological stuff that can help citizens to report early enough if they have seen any signs of flooding. I really don't know how true that story is, but this is the point where you are going to bring every sector in play. Everybody's going to play their part. The technology that is needed. I think there's...
And each government, the federal government, the state government, and the local government.
Exactly. I think I saw something like green roofs, special pavements. There are some really specific things that you can do in the interim to combat it, even though it's going to cost a lot of money and a lot of resources. That is what they should come out to tell us that they are doing to even reduce the effect of the flooding. At the end of the day, we have to move away from this conversation. It's saddening because people are losing their lives. If you watch stories of people that stay in flooded areas, let me even give you this personal story. There was a time I was going to Mushin. I was going to a secondary school. I think I was going to teach at that point, and coming back, and when I was going, there was no rain. Coming back, it was already flooded. This experience was so traumatic for me because whilst I was trying to put my leg in the flooded area to move, I fell into a ditch. I fell into a ditch not close to my destination. That means I was still seeing water ahead. I remember how my heart was beating. I was scared that what is in front of me? Because it was not an area I was familiar with. People by the side were like, yeah, pass this side, pass that. I'm like, where do people want me to pass? It was so scary, and that was just one-off experience. Imagine people that have to experience this every time.
Every time.
People drowning, people losing their properties, when it's something that we can foresee. Next year, there will be another flood because rain won't stop falling. What will you do to prevent it from killing people? Let's move away from this flood story. Sometimes some things really get to me. Let me take you through The Guardian, and the major story, or a follow-up to the flood story, says Oluremi Tinubu donates 1 billion naira to Niger flood victims. I think this one didn't even get to Lagos. Let's see who's going to donate to Lagos. 1.5 million children die of vaccine-preventable diseases yearly. Recapitalization looms as Tinubu signs insurance reform bill. Below that, we see concerns over new customs levy, weak import as car ownership turns luxury. Importers take advantage of additional charge for pricing gorging. Investors raise stake in Nigeria with $5.6 billion capital inflows in first quarter. ADC leadership crisis deepens as INEC chairman withhold tacking. And yes, that's all the story on the Guardian newspaper. Usually on Raised Breakfast, our Wednesday segment always focus on health-related issue. And that's why I felt I should talk about this one that is really alarming because of the number. It says 1.5 million children die of vaccine-preventable diseases yearly. Talking about prevention again. Talking about things we can do to mitigate a risk. This is a call to every organization out there. Let me tell you this particular detail that got me agitated again. He says, to this end, the CSO urged the federal government to release the outstanding 108 billion naira for 2024 immunization and ensure the full release of the 231.7 billion allocated for 2025. She observed that without consistent vaccine funding, over 1 million Nigerian children under 5 remain at risk of dying from diseases we already have the power to prevent. I'm really glad that the CSO highlighted the fact that we have the power to prevent. Sometimes we used to think that as Nigerians we're handicapped. We used to think that we are a country that we don't have the money. That is a big lie. We always shout out. So now there's been some money that has been disbursed to this sector, but it has not been released from 2024 even to 2025. And what's the consequence of that? The young, they are dying of diseases that are preventable. Yeah, I mean, we know what it is for, we're talking about kids and children today. We know what it means for you to have a child and not go. There's a whole lot that happens in their beginning, infancy stage, toddler. A lot of vaccination happens. If you miss one, it has a major effect on that child. Now, this is not just one child we're talking about. This is 1.5. Not because we don't have people to administer this, but because there's no funding in that area.
And then they will say that they disbursed it. So where is the money? And this is what I was always talking about the fact that we hear that, money is coming down from somewhere, and then it gets to a point. It is not going down. It is not going back up. So where is it? You can imagine 108 billion naira. 108 billion naira. The same money. That was what, that's why I always get angry about, the fact that, the funding and all of that. I was saying that it's not like you don't have the money. But it's just that those money, by the time it's channeled, I don't know where it hangs. I don't even know. I don't know the level it hangs. Because the federal government will say that it's not with them. So who is taking the money? And unfortunately, I just think that when we come together as a country, we should prioritize certain things. And one of the things that we should prioritize is the health of these kids. Because these are people's children. I remember back then when I was still much younger. I don't know how it is with kids now, but you have different levels of vaccination going on. You have different levels of vaccination going on. They will come to your church. They will come to your school. They will come everywhere. I don't know if they still have it like that.
I think they do, but I rarely see them as when I was younger.
It got to a point, as a child, I'm always wondering that, what again? You mean I'm going to get vaccinated again? Because it kept coming. But I'm not even sure if they even have it like that again. Maybe they now have maybe a registered place or something. But I feel like they should release this funding. I don't know, how much you see of some of those kids, some of those stories that some kids, how sick they are. And the things that is what is even causing the illness is something that could have been prevented with a vaccination, with a clinic visit, with a doctor's prescription. But we don't have it like that. And I don't really know why this 108 billion naira that we are talking about.
We need to investigate a number of things.
I don't know where it is.
We'll just wrap up this segment. This segment, Headline Stories, it's not just for us to banter and get angry. I'm not one that likes the emotion anger, but it's really to point out certain things that we're missing out as a country. And let us start opening it up so that the right bodies, the right persons involved will take the right action that is needed. We've spoken about the flooding story. Flood doesn't come unaware. flood announces before it comes. Next year, another flood will happen. That's nature. That's the climate that we're in. But we can prevent it. We can work extra hard. Do you understand? In the health sector, these people, they've told us already, the CSO has said it's preventable. If it's preventable, let us work harder to see that it's prevented. And I'm sure we'll move forward. I think Nigeria has the capacity to be amongst the A-list countries. We just need to put certain things and structure in place. And that's how we wrap up the headline stories. Remember, our topic today is on early puberty in kids. I think it's a very interesting one. It says that sweeteners have been linked to increase early puberty in kids, and this is not one you want to miss. In case you have any comments on any of our headline stories, please do let us know on our YouTube page, and I'll read every one of them. Stay with us. We'll be right back shortly. All right, welcome back, valued viewers. Our topic today is on early puberty in kids. It says sweeteners have been linked to increase early puberty in kids. A recent global study has found out that some sweeteners, yes, those commonly found in diet drinks or candy and everyday snacks, could be linked to early puberty in children. We're talking about sweeteners like aspartame, sucralose, and even added sugar, which are often used in sugar-free or low-calorie products marketed as healthier options. The study presented at the Endocrine Society's International Conference revealed that children who consume a high amount of these sweeteners could be at higher risk of entering puberty much earlier than expected, as early as age 7 or 8. Now, this raises a lot of questions, not just medical ones, but social and psychological ones too, and I think that's our emphasis for today. How does early puberty affect a child's mental health, their schooling, their relationships, and in a society where many parents aren't even aware of what's inside the food their kids are eating? How do we begin to address this? And that's the conversation we want to open up today. It's not just about food, it's about parenting, awareness, culture, and the systems around our children. Of course, I'll be having this conversation with my delectable lady in yellow, Triumph Akimboye Ololade. I don't know why I felt like hyping you a little bit. Thank you. But this is a very disturbing story. Do you agree with me?
I do agree with you.
It's disturbing.
And it takes me back to my childhood.
Yeah.
I don't know if I was the only one.
When I saw the news yesterday, do you know the story that came to mind? I remember GSS2. So there was the way the scheme of work was, I don't know, many Nigerian schools in Lagos knows that term. So the scheme of work was such that in GSS2, the topic that is emphasized is puberty in home economics. I remember it was our favorite subject. And in GSS2, I think the age range was around 9 to 12. There, I think so, around that age. So many of us in the class had not even got into puberty. But we're just learning it in advance. The teacher will say, oh.
And then you're waiting forward. You know that feeling when you hear somebody, you know, your friend in school. It really took me back to my secondary school days.
That's how
I remembered all my story, you know, all my puberty stories, seeing this story. I remembered a lot of things. And
look at you today, talking about it. Interesting. But the particular context we're focusing on, yes, the psychological and social part, but let's even talk the health area, not like as health experts in that sense, but there's been this disturbing research that says that sweeteners have been linked to increased puberty in kids. So I'm thinking, where did we miss it? And I know we like to always blame parents for things, but myself, when I see drinks that are labeled sugar-free, I think, oh, this is good for my fit farm journey. Do you understand? And I think that's what many parents fell trapped into. And so they began to get things like that. Because children always would need sweeteners. I mean, you can't be a child and not take candy. There should be something wrong. If you're a child and you're always about veggies and fruits, there's something wrong with that childhood. Because childhood is associated with sweet things, right? But now it's becoming a major concern. And health experts have told us that these things that have been labeled as healthier, sugar-free options are actually dangerous. And I'm wondering, do you think that this is actually a misplaced trust in marketing? Because why would we have certain industries push out things in our face, tell us things are sugar-free, and you're not letting us really know the implication of it? It was somebody that told me, I don't want to call any brand name, there's this particular drink, they had the normal sugar on everybody had. Then for one marketing strategy, they came up with zero of it. I'm not mentioning any brand name, but I'm sure you can I have an idea. They came up with the zero of it, and somebody mentioned that that's not true. That zero is really not zero. In fact, someone even claimed, I don't know how true this is, that sometimes it even contains more sugar than the one that doesn't.
Zero.
So there are a lot of things happening. I'm wondering, this even goes into marketing, into decision making, and what do you have to say about it?
Okay, so what I have to say about the fact that, okay, number one, there are certain drinks that, like, there are certain drinks, sweets, all these things, all these candies that kids take, that there are some that, they tell you not to take because of your age. Some drinks are actually not age appropriate. Let's even start with that. But I find kids taking certain things. They take everything. Once it's sweet, and it's a very serious thing, because it is only very few percentage of parents that understand the level or understand the term. You mentioned some terms now. How many parents, which parent will be listening to you that even know, even 1 minute out of all these things that you're saying, aside if they're specialists in these certain things,
if they're
you mentioned some
dietitians or
things.
pediatricians.
That's the only way they can know it. So I feel like, on the part, the producers, the people that manufacture these things, I feel like they can be very plain to people.
Yes.
They can be very plain to all these parents. Let them see what they are buying. Let them understand what they are buying. All those aspartame, one thing that we don't understand. We don't understand. And also, as for kids, you mentioned if it was a misplaced trust in marketing.
Yes.
I feel like on the end of these people, give them more details. When you buy a product, you should be able to see.
But that takes away
details.
The whole idea of marketing. Marketing is to sell you something that I want you to buy regardless.
But I think that
which is
why
the wrong
there
definition,
is,
though.
Well, and I think that is why there is something called, you can bring audience for certain products.
Do you know the audience for some of these products are even children? You don't get it? Some of these things they are making that are hurting these children are for children. So if I write in the pack, not for children, nobody is going to buy it. Maybe some adults are not really, engrossed with the whole sweeteners and everything. So their audience, their target audience are the children. When you see some of the billboards adverts, some of the major adverts they do on TV, radio, who do you think they use? Children. For all of these things, because they expect that this is our target audience. There was even one very funny video I watched somewhere. So a mother and a child went to a particular store to get some pastries, sweeteners and everything. And so the mother didn't want to get it for the child because she felt like you've had enough already. So she lied to the child that there's no more pastry available. Do you know what's what's it called? Not the child, the people selling, what are they called? The waiters and everyone. They now brought it out, like sneaked it out, like to the child's face. So the child started crying. That showed me that the waiters are not even concerned about your whatever health, anything. And I'm not talking waiters, I'm talking marketers, people that are in this industry selling.
People are more interested about profit, about the profit that comes with the business.
Exactly. So there's a whole lot of misplaced trust in marketing. And like you have mentioned, what we really need to focus on, since we are looking at the first health implication of this, is that we need more trusted industries, people that are really focused on people's health. I know the economy.
The truth.
Yes, tell us the truth, honestly.
Or produce something that will not have the things that are not fit for these kids. I mean, you can always rebrand. You can always do something else. You can always have a different product that serves, the audience that you're looking for, which is for kids and all of that. I mean, we all know a particular product that, we know that once you hear that particular kind of drink product, you know that it's for kids. And when you find adults, taking this,
okay,
and then you're wondering that, why are you taking this kind of product?
Sure.
So I feel like, for example, if a company like that, the company that produces these certain products that we are talking about, if they say that, if we hear that, that their particular product has all these things that we are talking about, then that means there is a problem. Because I feel like you're selling out already to this particular... You've been selling for years. For years. So you cannot, because of marketing, and then say that, okay, but my point is that, when it comes to these sweetness things, kids will not take it if it's not sweet. So how do you make it... So it's a whole lot of things combined together, really. Because how do you make this certain drink that I'm talking about now? Let's remove all the sweetness. Let's remove all the certain things that makes it. But, I saw the story. Well, I read the story. And a part of the story says that even the ones that are zero...
Yes, that's what I was trying to
that
emphasize.
are not sweet, they have certain things that are not good for the health inside it. So I don't really know what we should do to the people that produces this thing. And how we should also talk to our parents on the things that they consume.
All right, this is a very, very funny comment from a fan. She said, watching on TV, please tell the lady on yellow, that's you, that she looks good and the color looks good on her skin as well. Triumph has a fan already. Thank you so much for that comment. All right, going back into what we're talking about. So like I mentioned, the conversation is not supposed to focus only on the health sector and everything. I want to look at the psychological perspective to this, and even the sociological perspective. A child that is 7 years old, I already have a picture of that child. Many of them are not even so tall. They are still very young. So imagine a 7-year-old child, girl, already developing breasts and hips that many of us didn't have till we were 17.
We talk about that, because I was thinking about talking about that, because...
Honestly, so I'm wondering, do you think that this actually causes some sort of challenges for these young people?
Now, we're talking about the social and psychological impact. I remember, let me use myself as an example.
I want personal stories. I like personal stories.
Because, for somebody like me, I did not eat puberty early, right? I did not eat puberty early. I think GSS 3, I would still be watching my brows. What's going on here? Because we had people that, even while they were in GSS 1, they already started these things.
Yes.
Now, when I look at some kids that were around my age presently, they have a different kind of body, a different kind of growth. They're really growing. And I'm wondering, when I was your age, I wasn't like this. I did not have this kind of stature. Now imagine getting to school and you are the only one going through these.
Yes.
Everybody is asking you.
You're the only one wearing bra to school.
You're the only one wearing bra to school. Everybody is asking you what's going on. Even the parents is going through this. And this thing has a very serious impact. That is why I am saying that if these producers, the owners of this company, let us stop. He's a very bad, very terrible character.
Go to them. Okay, are you just saying your story? Because I was going to chip in something. Like you mentioned, you did not experience it as we're seeing today. Let me even go a bit personal.
I'm always very sad then. No.
You're always very what?
Very sad then.
I mean, the story I'm about to tell you, you will cry for me. Like, you will literally have to comfort me. So in just like I told you, everybody was discussing puberty. Our teachers will emphasize a whole lot on signs that you see in a girl. Their
sometimes we even come to your school to come and do training.
Their breasts start developing, hair in their armpits. Then it went to the menstrual cycle part. I don't know why I just felt like menstrual cycle was a crown and a wonderful honor for a woman. I felt like, oh God, am I not a girl like everyone else? Please pardon my drama this morning because I'm remembering a lot of story. And I remember one time I had to fake my period just because I wanted to feel among. Now, this is a different perspective I'm bringing. I'm bringing from one that was pressured, that didn't feel like her period or her puberty had started at a normal time like the rest of her peers. There's another category of people. in that same class that I was in, people that I would be lying to them. I would say, when I said my period, the blood was trickling down all over. They'll be like, really? My own does not look like that. But because I was so unaware, I would paint any kind of story, pressure. I wanted to feel like a woman as well. And there was this rage where there was this thing called crush in school.
Yes.
I don't know if you played this friends game where they'll tell you friends over. So, you know, when a girl starts developing and has all the nice curves and everything, she becomes more attractive to guys. Nobody come meet me. Because my pinafore highlighted my very flat chest. Pardon my drama this morning. But I was just thinking about a whole lot of things when I was coming to this show. And I'm like, wow, I felt so pressured. So by all means, I would probably wear some foam bras because I wanted to feel like myself. I'm an adult at 12. I'm an adult I don't know who was rushing us into adulthood. We just felt like it felt interesting.
We were the ones rushing ourselves.
Great. Now, another category still in my class were people who felt ashamed because of their bodies. Now, I know gene plays a whole lot of things in this whole puberty stuff. Yes, sweeteners are part of it as well, but even beyond sweeteners, there are some children that, if you look at the trajectory in their lineage, they are meant to blow up very quickly. So I had girls in my class, really close girls. The way they were built,
you know that thing
bigger than teachers.
I still used to say that. I watched when you hit puberty. I watched everything. Please, how come you're not more than me? I don't understand what's going on.
So I had girls like that who were very big. They were very robust. In fact, some of them had extreme stuff where, because they started, growing hairs in their armpits and they're sweating. There was this girl that had this very terrible stain on her armpit. The stain no gree come out. Like, it was just there. So it made her feel sad. So there were a lot of people in my same class that felt very ashamed because they had hit puberty on time. And that thing is so true. Because I feel like children are meant to be children. Imagine somebody at 9 already thinking about changing pad, already thinking about pimple on her face, already thinking about ovulation, already thinking about shaving. Do you understand? And that's just even the physical part. There's the emotional part to
the emotional
puberty.
Part of it.
In fact, start getting attention. There are a number of things to open up, and this topic is quite interesting. I'm sure you have a lot of things to comment. We'll take a short break, a breather, very short, and then we'll come back to continue our conversation. Please stay with us. All right, welcome back, dearest viewers, and thank you for always sticking with us and dropping your comment. I always remember that name. I'm expecting your comment if you're listening to us now, but we have a wonderful comment from Osas here. Yeah, she said, why aren't we using natural things? There's enough farmland to produce everything natural, and that's absolutely very true. Do you know that we were saying something about how these sweeteners appeal more to children because they're actually sweet? I believe that. Today, we have things called popsicles, right? And you know how they make them? Some of them are made from natural fruits themselves when you blend them and ice them or something. So that one is still sweet, but it's healthy. I believe it's way healthier for children because eating fruit, I don't know if there's like an overdose of taking fruit, but I'm not sure yet because the particular survey just mentioned on sweeteners, artificial kind of sweeteners. So yes, Osas, you mentioned something very
should embrace
so
natural things.
Yes,
and I was going to talk about the fact that there are some certain parents that they are already adopting. You know, before, while we were growing up, the best thing you could get is, something like this popular product that I was telling you about that has been for a very long time. But now, online, I see, some of these parents that do spend a day with me, with my kids, that they actually produce this certain thing, and they make these things themselves. They blend the fruits together, add some things, refrigerate them, and then put these things inside their kids' bag to ensure that they're actually taking things that are natural. So I must commend parents that are doing that, and to also talk to parents that are not yet adopting that all the things you depend on is the sweeteners, the things that make everything sweet. I don't want to start doing free publicity for those products. So you can adopt those natural things. You can adopt the natural fruits blended together, make things out of it. I don't know if you see all these content creators making with their kids, and I feel like it is quite good. It is hygienic. You can see how everything is produced.
Make them at home.
You can make them at home, DIY.
Producing.
That's why YouTube is good. We have all these platforms that you can easily watch some things that are quite healthy. It can teach you something, all right?
I think that, thank you very much, or stats for bringing up that. And also, parents should stop indulging their kids. A lot of parents, maybe some Gen Z parents, I don't know if there's any Gen Z parent, but I mean, some people are getting married quite early. So because you yourself, you have a lot of indulgence as per you are still young, some of them end up indulging their kids. If your kids is saying, Mom, I want this one, you are not taking it.
Don't
you
worry.
are not. Sometimes I wonder how I would be as a mother, but I'm not sure I would be so strict.
I was saying something that while I was growing up, but it's not natural for kids now. I mean, I've been with people who have like small kids, and I've seen the way. While I was growing up, my mom did not use, sugar to raise. Like, people are giving their kids tea, and they're still adding sugar. I don't understand. I mean, it's not...
Oh, my God. I mean, I can already imagine your childhood. You were raised with agbo. You were the type that
No, I wasn't even
agbo.
like that, because I did not like it, and my
God.
mother did not like it. So it was not... I don't take agbo. I can still remember a clear story of my grandma coming to bring the agbo to the house. The moment I heard her, I slept and did not wake up till she left.
Interesting.
Till she left. So I wasn't like that. But my mom did not used to add certain things. For example, she will not add sugar to tea. She will not add sugar to something like a golden morn because it's already sweet. Why are you adding sugar? You are just a child. Now, you will not be saying that the child is crying, but you were the one that exposed them to these certain things. If you don't expose them to it, they will not know that it's sweeter. That's one thing that I have learned about kids. It is what you expose to them that they know.
Yeah,
that is why they will keep requesting. Because in the first place, why did you add the sugar? Why did you have the mind that, let me add sugar to make it sweet? Even when you are when we were much younger, I mean as babies, then they don't add sugar to pap. And it's not like that now. You cannot, there's no crime in it, honestly.
The truth is that it's actually the lifestyle of the parent that determines how. So
how
if the parents themselves are people that are committed to healthy dieting, healthy foods and all, it will show in your kids. But if the parents are people that they eat junks, I mean at work, they take everything is junks, pastries and all, they would not be committed to it. I think we have more comments here from Ajayi Mary Ozioho. He says, it's not even funny. Like many years ago, I heard a kid of 9 years started her period. I didn't start until I was close to 17. Mary, we're in the same group chat.
So what should she do?
Pressure made me wear a pad even when I hadn't started. Mary, I need to link up with you. Another one said, at a point, I said, God, I'll serve you all the days of my life. Once I see my period, I was so pressured. I'm so glad to see this Mary's comment because I wasn't the only one pressured.
I was not the only one. So I was going to tell you the story of the first time, the first time. But let us talk about Mary's story first. The age that she said she started, I can understand the pressure she must have felt. That means you should have been done with secondary school. If you were not done in secondary school, maybe you were already in SS3. You might have been the only one left in class.
Yes. That
was yet to see a period. The pressure is not only from, even at home, they will be wondering that, hey, is this child okay, and all of that. And I think that, as parents, I'm going back to parents now, because parents play a very, very great role. Even though sometimes when you get to school, as children, as kids, as teenagers, your peers play a very, higher percentage of role. But I think parents should form their children, form their mind, form the way they think, form the way they perceive themselves. Let them see that they are good enough, that there is nothing wrong with them. It's not that you are the same parents that the same thing that the child is running from in school. By the time the child is getting home, that's the same thing that is happening. Now, I was going to tell you the first time.
Triumph has a lot of story, but please go ahead. I'm in for the stories.
I was not even in Ilorin. I traveled because GSS1, GSS2, GSS3, I did not see anything. So I went for the break. You know that after junior WAEC, you go for the long break.
Yes.
So I traveled to Lagos to stay with my auntie to spend the break. And then I remember that very day that I saw this thing. I said,
the blood, the sacred blood of womanhood.
I said, you would think. And then now I'm wondering that why was it like that?
Wishing that it doesn't even come because of how messy and how stressful it is. But because I don't want us to miss a very vital angle to this story, is talking about, we are speaking as people that probably started a little late and the pressure that came with it. I'm speaking from someone that has also seen people who were ashamed because they started their period pretty early. And like they've said, Sweeteners even make it more early. 9 years old to be changing pad is traumatic for me.
It's too much.
Are you saying that person will be changing pad or wearing tampons for almost 40-something years of her life. Do you understand? I think some studies have even said that sometimes they get into menopause
earlier.
Quickly. I really don't know how sure that is. You could help us verify that. And a lot of things are just looking really wrapped.
And
so my question now is, pardon me, how do you think parents can even start dealing with their children? I think I have one person here. Tasha Jones, yeah, she said it's scary because they can get pregnant. Exactly. So I want to talk about how we can now even deal with the effect of people who get into puberty early. Because puberty is also emotion. That means your sexual urges would increase. And you're young. You don't know anything about sexual education. Your parents are probably even fidgety talking to you about it because they still see you as almost 9 years old, 10 years old. How will I tell you that you must not meet man? But if you don't, they will get pregnant. And in fact, child pregnancy is terrible because many of them die during the process. So I'm wondering, how do you think parents can now start, if they fall into this category where their children have reached puberty on time, how can you really curtail it so that you don't have a lot of risk to deal with later? I'll start first and say, like we've always mentioned on this show, Kiki and Godwiti will always lay hold on this. Sexual education starts from small. That whole, I can't talk about the penis and the vagina with my child because we are Christians. That's a very terrible lie. It starts from small. So if you've seen that, biology did something different for your own child and they started early, your education starts early. Do you understand? It starts early. Let them be aware of what it means to be a woman this early. And in fact, I don't think it's an education that should just be from your head. You need to consult different other options. You need to consult doctors at this point because they went overboard with their development. So there are other things that you may not even know. Because some mothers probably they even started their own puberty or period much later in life. So how much of advice can you even give? So this is not a lone ranger advice. This is the one that you have to use the help of gynecologists, pediatricians, doctors, people that can tell you things that are needed. Do you understand? Let me hear your own thought before.
So I was actually going to talk about the education, right? And you said it well. You said it well. Parents should educate their kids very early. Let's talk about these things. Although I understand that, these Gen Z parents, they don't find, those things difficult to talk about. It was not like the way it was before, while we were growing up or while people who were much older than us, while they were growing up. It wasn't like that before. But I think Gen Z parents are not those kind of parents. They will talk about these things. But if you plan to not save, to educate your kids about that, I don't know why. So educate your kids. Let them know what and what not. Let them know that if they move, there was one thing that was very common. One thing that was very common.
They touch
if
you.
we should
touch you that from our parenting handbook.
If they touch you, you become pregnant. No, tell them the truth. Tell them how that. Teach them that you don't need to seek validation from people, from men, from boys. Teach them those things. Let them understand the beauty that comes with their growth, with their process. Let them understand the fact that growing up is actually a beautiful thing. Let them know these things. Because if you don't tell them, something must fuel a child. If you don't tell your child, somebody else is going to talk to your child outside. It's either their friends, it's either maybe some older persons. It's either maybe somebody that would even, that the child would even stand the risk of abuse from, that would even be telling them. And at that such age, children are, they will listen to you. They will listen to whatever you're saying.
Yes.
So educate, be open to them, tell them everything. And it doesn't mean that maybe you have to be overprotective, because I've seen parents that think that being overprotective is the solution to your kids not becoming something else. I have seen kids that even with the overprotectiveness of the parent and all of that, the child became whatever it is that she wanted or he wanted to become. But the best thing is that teach your children, talk to them. And another thing that parents do that I do not appreciate is the fact that you cannot even hold a proper conversation with your kids. You don't know what is going on with them. You don't know how they're doing. You don't know how they're faring. You don't know what has happened in their day. You don't even know if if this kid is getting bullied in school because she's now having certain things that, you know, some of her friends in class don't have, but you are there. The next thing is, oh yeah, go and pick your assignment. That's the only conversation where I go and pick your assignment. Like, oh, back.
My
No.
doctor.
My doctor. Engage them.
Yeah.
Know what is going on.
So because of time, I know Triumph is a parent coach, parenting coach, and she can give us a whole number. But I want to wrap up with this, and of course you can put your inputs to it as well. One thing that parents can help their children with, especially people that get into puberty on time, is help to build their esteem. Because I told you, I had friends that they were very busty. Like, you know what is breastilola? Do you know what that term in school? They were extremely busty. And sometimes it's even the teachers in school that say, look at you, look at how you look like and everything. In fact, going home, some of their parents would also talk about their look. Could be like, oh, because you're not growing breasts like me, Abby, says you are fat, Seth. They can even say it as a joke. I know of a particular story where there was this an auntie that was telling, there were two siblings, a girl and a boy. So the boy just had a feminine structure. So he had a rounder, you know, bosom and all of that. And the girl was still lanky. So the auntie will now be like, oh, see person will be man, gets hip past you. Do you understand? That is already destroying that girl's esteem. So she'll feel like there's something wrong with her. Some will even say, oh, sis, why girl go get something like this? And sometimes it just comes from a random conversation. One auntie visited. You know this thing where aunties or relatives will visit you. They've not seen you in a long time. They're like, are you the one that is like this? You're looking bigger, taller. Sometimes it's beautiful comments, but they take it a little overboard when they start talking about your shape. Like, you go soon marry you. Please, why are you telling me that at 15? Do you understand? Look at how pretty you are. Some uncles begin to even touch and everything. But I think what parents, yes, thank you, Osa. She said parent needs to instill self-esteem and confidence and not be the ones to destroy it through their snide remarks and very random, unnecessary comments. Do you understand? And I think that if we do that, even though we may not be able to overly mitigate the risk of certain children getting into puberty on time, I think we can still build well-rounded children at the end of the day. What are your last thoughts as we begin to wrap up?
So my last thought as regards self-esteem is to the society. It's to the society. While I was growing up, I usually see people, you know, all these people on the streets, men on the streets. You are walking. Like, you've not seen the ones that are, you know, grown, that has, you know, the big everything. You're now going to kids. You can see that they are small. You are following them. What are you looking for? I don't understand. So the society in itself,
a mental problem.
The society in itself, please and please, let us stop putting unnecessary pressure, unnecessary attention on these people. Rather, encourage them, tell them better things about themselves. So that is what I think I would love to talk about as regards to self-esteem.
So Tasha Jones wraps up the comment for us and says the sad thing is that some parents have low self-esteem. Terrible. Well, at the end of the day, this isn't just about sweetness. It's about awareness and protecting childhood. Early puberty can change the way a child sees the world and how the world even sees them. So as parents, caregivers, and a society, we need to ask better questions and make more informed choices. Let's not rush childhood. Let's protect it. And thank you for staying with us. Thank you, Triumph, our beautiful lady in yellow. Of course, we'll see you tomorrow again, same time, same station. Have a great day.